Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. Hey guys, welcome back. We are here again this week with Lauren Michelle Jackson to finish up that conversation we started about areas in our lives where we don't fully show up, and how important it is that we each come at life boldly authentic, because you never know what kind of ripple that might have on humanity. We're glad you're here. Stay tuned for some great stuff.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cultivating Courage podcast. I'm so nervous.
I know. I love it.
This is really hard. Kristin does this great. If you're used to listening to this, you're like, why is Matt speaking right now?
We're just trying something new.
I'm sitting in the middle seat, too.
It's called trying new things.
Yes.
Change is hard, but it's good for us.
Okay, let me take a breath. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Matt Maxwell.
Well, that might be a little
Welcome
too.
to another episode of the Cultivating Courage podcast.
Wow. All
I'm
right.
here with my co-host, Kristin Robinson.
Hi. I'm going to pick up the energy a little bit.
Okay, good idea. But this is the late night version of the Cultivating Courage podcast.
It could be.
It could be. Listen to this one when you want to go to sleep.
But only the parts where Matt's speaking.
Just the parts where I'm speaking. I also noticed that I'm the only one wearing shoes.
Well, that's a choice that you've chosen.
I'm going to take them off later. I'm Matt Maxwell. I am a comedian today.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Kristin Robinson, my co-host.
Hi, guys. You know me. I'm Kristin, founder of Thrive Coaching Studio and asker of big things.
Ooh, yeah. About to make some powerful requests.
Yeah.
And today we are joined again by Lauren.
Whoop,
Do
whoop.
you use your middle name when you introduce yourself?
I actually
This
do.
is Lauren Michelle Jackson.
Yes, thank you.
I love
do.
your full name. It's beautiful.
I do. Me too. I do too.
Lauren is a professional coach,
Yes.
counselor, all-around badass speaker,
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
writer, transformation agent.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
that's
big
true.
time in your people
Yeah.
and with everyone you serve and in yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I like that though. That was a great. I think I'm gonna change that.
Okay, good.
She's getting
My
new
bio.
business
Yeah.
cards printed.
Just can you put in an acknowledgement in your books?
I acknowledge
Just
Matt
like-
Maxwell for giving me all the badass acknowledgement that he
Yeah.
just did in this moment.
Yeah. So what do you think? Continue the conversation we were having before?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear areas where you guys are holding back, where you feel like you need to be brave and authentic. I shared. Let's all share.
Okay, I'm open to that. Lauren, you want to start?
I love how he deflects.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is for you. I just
I'm
You're-
sure.
you're the
I'm
guest.
very sure.
well, I want everybody to hear your brilliance.
You know,
so.
I know Matt very well, so I know when he's playing. So, you know, I play off of that very well. You know what? For me, and this is something I share with Matt specifically, I think I'm such career driven in my life that romance kind of falls short often. But that's actually my biggest priority. Like, I desire most to be a wife and a mother. I think even more so than my businesses. And everybody knows like how gun-ho and driven and how much in love I am with my business. But the idea of being a wife and a mother, I think that trumps everything for me. And I know I don't show up as much as I probably should.
In what ways?
Oh God. I think the hardest part is after kind of having my heart broken a few times, it's hard to show up.
Yeah.
And I remember they used this analogy when we were going through our coaching. Do you want to be the business suit or do you want to be the party dress? And it's kind of like I was showing up being the business suit, but on the inside, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I was ultimately the party dress.
Yeah.
So meaning it was kind of like I want to attract the suit and I exude that. However, because I'm not necessarily sure how this is going to turn in my favor,
Right.
I'm going to play this ever so coy in order to protect myself.
Yeah.
I love this, and I think I'm just going to throw in here a little explanation of how we view that business suit
versus party dress.
Which is something like, I mean, there's a lot of, because I think there's a lot of different ways you can interpret
you can
that.
interpret it in a lot of ways.
But though I think the way we were looking at it is basically like, do you mean business? Right? Like, are you actually looking for the person that's going to be your person?
Right.
Yep.
Are you serious
a
about
night out on the
this?
town?
Right.
Yep.
You know, and
where do you
someone
fall
that's
comfortable
kind of
at?
frivolous. And it might be that like you actually choosing to be the party dress. Right now, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy.
And there's nothing wrong with either one.
I want to go out. Right. It's not
Right.
bad. It's just making a choice. Like where Lauren was looking is like I was showing up as the party dress when what I really want, I want it to mean business.
Yeah.
And actually create my future and my family and a long-term relationship. Right. Is that,
Yeah.
That's
accurate, because I had to realize that there was like a lot of broken areas where the reason why I was showing up as a party dress, so to speak, was because I didn't think I was worthy enough of receiving the suit. So, you know, in that case, it was kind of like, all right, let me just put on the jeans and a t-shirt to really figure out, okay, where am I falling at in this place?
Yeah.
And until I'm able to make a conscious decision as to where I want to show up and what I want to attract, let me kind of really focus on myself in this minute. And so now I want the suit, and I show up as a suit. And if you're not a suit, that's fine. We can be friends in the party attire, but I want a suit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And is there a way in which, I mean, I love the like, I'm taking a time out here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some stuff for me. I'm going to take care of my needs or do some healing work or all kinds of things that could be really powerful from just like, I'm going to step back from playing the relationship game as rigorously or whatever. There can be lots of benefits to that. And it can also be
another way of controlling the situation.
Right. Then I'm in control. I don't have to put myself out there. So I think it can be powerful. For some people, their breakthrough might be in actually stepping out a little bit and taking some time for themselves. I know I've been in a place where that's been really powerful for me. And then for some people, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've done plenty of work. You actually have to talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do something.
You got to put yourself
to actually
out there.
meet some people.
Yeah.
And try to create it. And that means maybe facing rejection or no's or disappointment or heartbreak or whatever else.
Yeah, I definitely think I benefited a lot from, no, I'm working on myself right now. Right. And the therapist in me is like, no, there's still some more healing. And it's kind of like my therapist even told me like, okay, so you keep creating barriers for people to meet you.
Yeah.
So like in the middle of this, I got into my PhD program. So she was like, okay, so you added another thing on top of your business. On top of now you added a PhD program. How available really are you to say if you want that dream relationship? How much can you actually give?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, damn, you're right. Okay. So now it's kind of like, if I want to create this, am I willing and intentionally creating the space for it to come?
Yeah. And are you?
We're working on it. You know what? I honestly can say I've began to put myself out there a lot more. However, I still... Thankfully, I'm moving to the city, soon. But I think location also plays a big role in it, too, because I still live back home. So, you know, it's the same people, same rigmarole. But now that I'm forcing myself to actually show up in a different atmosphere to match the career that I want, to match the lifestyle that I want, to match the partner that I want, it's forcing me to show up. And I like putting myself in pressure cooker situations where it's like, you say you want it, go out there and create it. So we're working on that for sure.
If we were to put it on the court, like actually really talk, like what are you actually doing?
So there's a website that I'm actually putting myself out there on.
Okay.
Where it's
a dating website?
It is a dating, and I hate dating websites. But this is particularly a dating website where it would be the type of man that I actually would want. So I
is it like millionaires meet
no,
or
it's like
something
well, it's the league.
Oh, nice. It's the league. Okay,
it's
cool.
the league. So it's actually something that
you got to have like some professional
exactly
educational
so I put myself out there. I'm no longer on the waiting list, so now I just have to pay my fee. And we're doing that this week. And
by when? By when are you go on your next date?
Let's start with the damn fees. Okay, I'm paying the fee by Friday.
That's good. Okay, the fees by Friday. That's good.
I'm paying the fee by Friday.
Okay.
But also too, I've been putting it out there to a lot of my friends who are professionals to say, you guys know what I want and what I'm looking for. If you guys know people that I'm actually what I would actually be interested in, go ahead and put that out there. So I have been doing that aspect. So that's a huge step for me.
Yeah.
Because normally I don't trust my friends to hook me up.
Yeah, it's legit.
So, I mean, those are the big things. I'm like, how about you, Matt? How are you doing right now?
Speaking of deflecting.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Yes.
Kristen, what's going on in your life?
Kristen spoke last.
I mean, I've got more, but people want to hear from you, Matt.
Oh, let's see.
What's the one area of your life where you are not showing up authentically and asking for what you want or need?
And where like the shoulds feel scary. Everywhere. In particular, for me, I think there are ways in which I'm not currently expressing myself that feel really scary, and I believe deep down that I need to start. Kind of related to the business work that I'm doing. We've talked about Hearthstone in the past on the podcast, but I really want to work with organizations doing culture transformation work. And I think there's a possibility of people having very different experiences in their work with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having like just a cultural shift in how we do work with each other and how we relate to each other at work. And there's a way in which we could be much more supported and connected and enjoying our work and enjoying each other. And that actually organizations could be places where we create transformation that ripples out to other places.
What are you not asking for? How are you not
I just
showing
don't
up
talk
in
about it. I don't post about it. I've now like got this great website that I'm almost done with, but I just haven't quite finished yet because it feels so scary to publish it and actually share it and let people know like this is what I'm up to. And then I think actually even beyond that, for me, there's like a level of expression around spirituality and my life purpose, which is paradise, which is that the like possibility of humans living with joy and freedom and like basically without suffering, internally or externally, that like our relationships could actually be like filled with love and joy, and that our communities and ultimately how we take care of the world, right? Like there's things that I deeply care about and have a vision for and have thoughts that I think are important to express, and some of them are kind of spiritual in nature, and I'm saying it now. I don't usually talk about that, and my sense of my like long-term impact in the world is that my voice is important, and I need to share that vision, the possibility of it, and also the how of it, and writing my book, putting my website out there, they're all aligned with that. And it just feels for me like there's something that feels so scary about expressing that. And some of that, I think, is that like I grew up in this Mormon community. Some of it is like some of it's very outside of Mormonism, and some of it's actually kind of in it in a way that makes me uncomfortable, the spirituality part of it. And some of it is like my background is as a lawyer, and I went to law school, and there's this like analytical, very practical, very like argumentative brain that's like always like, well, that's stupid, and people are going to think this, and always kind of arguing against itself within my own brain. So that's where I think most deeply I'm getting stopped by like fear of what people will think and how they'll respond. And there's going to be followers in my Facebook that are just like, that's stupid. And that's what I think. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but that's what feels scary to me.
Breathe. But you know what? I think what would help even your followers is sometimes we don't recognize that when we allow ourselves to live our authentic truths, it actually enables other people to do the same.
Absolutely. It creates the space for other people to show up.
Because they have to be able to challenge those same thoughts that they're having in their own head, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're kind of going against your own brain, it's kind of just like there's a cognitive partnership that takes place where it's kind of like, you're right, what if? But then there's another part of you says, but why not? What if it actually comes together in the way that I think it could? What if I actually allow myself to show up in my most authentic self, in my most spiritual self, whatever it is in that moment that gives me that breakthrough that I'm looking for? Mm-hmm. And it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah. Well, and you never know who is going to read that post and either need to hear exactly what it says or be looking for exactly what you're doing. And then they say, oh, you know what? You should connect with so-and-so. Mm-hmm. You just never know how sharing your voice could make a positive impact and create the things that you want to create.
Yeah.
I do think that people recognize when there's a level of genuineness in what, you're offering.
Yeah.
And that allows them to be more gracious and more generous towards the things that you're trying to create. And like, sometimes it's just like, oh, that's awesome. I want to be a part of that. Like, how can I help?
Yeah, I appreciate hearing that. And I think there's a way in which we have already decided how people will respond, and it's garbage. It's just mental
considerations.
Garbage. So I appreciate that. And what I really want for me is to not care.
Yeah.
To not actually care how they respond. Maybe I do agree. I think there really is a way in which showing up authentically and sharing our authentic voice does create that space for others. Mm-hmm. And there's ripple effects from that. It creates permission and it shifts our cultural way of being. So I would like that to happen, but I think for me, the real opportunity is to share what I believe and how I see and not care.
What do you think that will
provide for you? And be okay with however it's received. If people do think like that's stupid, fine.
Yeah. What do you think that will provide for you if you had that freedom?
I don't know. It seems exciting though.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of ways where I get stopped with needing approval and needing people to like me. And, we've looked at that a lot in the past, and I've had some really great breakthroughs. And even doing this podcast is something I probably wouldn't have dreamed of a couple of years ago. So I've had these awesome breakthroughs where it's like, oh, I can like love other people and not care if they like me or not, in service of the causes and things that I'm committed to. And you look at like really powerful leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, even he who shall not be named, who's currently our president, the capacity to have people hate you and still move towards what you believe in is like, ballsy. I think fundamental to most leadership.
Yeah.
And there is like putting yourself out there in a way that people would respond to you negatively. And I think it's, I don't know if essential might be too strong, but I think it's a critical part of being a powerful leader is being with people not liking you and having it be okay for you.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. Some of the most effective leaders were hated at one point in time or just strongly disliked for wherever their moral stance were or whatever their political views may be. Yeah. However, the impact that they left on their personal legacy when they left, that transforms another generation to be able to stand in that right, wrong, or indifferent, and I think one of the biggest things that we forget is that the life that we serve is not just for us solely. It's for somebody else that's connected to whatever it is you're called to. So when you show up, you allow somebody else to show up to stand in whatever their truth is to help affect the next person, the next generation, the next world, the next society, because it's still going to continue with or without you. Right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times we forget that our destiny is attached to somebody else's.
Yeah. Self as group.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, though. I know.
Yeah, even just talking about it feels so scary. I've got a vulnerability hangover. I just want to say something funny.
No. Sit in that.
Yeah, I'll be with it.
Yes.
I'll be with it. And in the spirit of that, probably by the time you listen to this, well, I don't know. I'll be close. By the time you listen to this, my book will be published.
Yay!
Yes. And it's a lovely book about how to end suffering. So I invite you to listen to it or read it. And it's illustrated. It's like a children's book for adults called How to Hold a Cockroach, a book for those who are free and don't know it.
And can people order this now, Matt?
They can. There's an Amazon pre-order page up. It's not fully complete, but it probably will be by the time you listen to this. There is a page. You can actually look it up on Amazon.
Probably, or it will be.
And well, I don't know when this is going to release, so it will be.
Okay, thank you.
It will be.
Thank you.
It will be. Right now you can order the ebook, but you really should get the hard copy book because I'm working with the illustrator right now.
Okay.
And it's going to be beautifully illustrated and in a way that really supports the story. So get the actual book so you can take in the pictures in the way it's intended.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. Now I just want to go disappear behind this chair.
No, you're going to stand in your
hide.
greatness and your boldness.
You should stand up and do a power pose.
I did this angel healing session.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about it?
No, you didn't tell me about it.
Can I talk about it?
Yeah. What
Okay.
is an angel healing session?
I didn't know. But I was at this camp thing where there are all these really cool people doing their kind of like one-on-one work. And I was signed up for this Reiki session.
Oh, awesome.
And I messed up the timing, and so I couldn't do the Reiki session. And this woman was like, "Oh, well, why don't you do an angel healing session with me?" And I was like, "I mean, I'm pretty much game for stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
You're like,
pretty,
"I'll
I'm
give it a
pretty
go."
open." And she was from Brooklyn and had like a very like non-angelic way of speaking. And I was just so curious about what this. She was very matter of fact. She's like, "All right, sit here, and I'm just going to clear out the energy." And she did this weird like poofy thing around me to clear out the energy, and then she started in, and she just kind of did. It was kind of like Reiki-ish, but like
intensive,
way more than Reiki. Like she started moving her hands around my head, and it was like energy was just pouring out of me. I mean, it was fascinating. And she gave me all this like really. She's like, well, I could tell you some of the stuff she said. She said some stuff that I was like, wow, that is really on point. It was fascinating how like direct, and she's just like, I don't know what this means, but this is what they're telling me. And she would just tell me, and I'd be like, wow, okay, yep, got it. And one of the things she said was, this might apply to you too. She said, you are on the right track. Everything you're up to is right on. Everything you're up to. You just need to have faith in it. You're just lacking faith, and you've got to have faith.
Except for everything.
So she gave me a pose that was like a way of calling in the angel of faith. I know.
I want that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Do you want me to tell you what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to see
I'm gonna
it.
have to like demo it, but it's
That's
Yeah.
fine.
it's kind of weird. I don't
We've
know if
got
there's
video.
room. Okay, there's video.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the.
You
here
can
it
push
is.
the
Wow,
chair
this
back
is-
a little bit if
James,
you
you
need
got to
to.
check it out. Can you guys see me? Okay. Sorry, viewers. I'll try to describe.
can
Or
push-
listeners, I'll
do you
try to
need to
describe
push it back?
Yeah,
You
that's
can
good.
if you
Okay,
want.
so you stand back, and it was like kind of like chakra energy.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Do it.
way outside of my comfort zone. Hi, everybody. So you use like one foot in front of the other, and it's like weak foot is in front.
So if you're
Non-dominant.
right-handed, you put your left foot in
I
front
think so.
and vice
Like
versa.
I think of it as like I kick more easily with my right foot. That's what I would like do kickball.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got my dominant foot back.
Yeah. So the left foot is front.
So you kind of like collect energy. I don't know really about chakras or anything, but you collect. There's like this and this. So you're like collecting the faith that you have in each of these spots. And then you direct it out with like some kind of prayer up, right? For the angel of faith. And she's like, basically that angel will supercharge it. So you're like collecting the faith that you have
In all of your chakras.
And offering, it's like the 4, starting with your chest.
Okay.
Chest, throat, third eye, or whatever this is. Top of your
crown.
head chakra.
Yeah, I think.
Crown. Sending it up. And then basically like with a prayer of like, give me faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring it back to each of those spots. And like fill it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told me, I can't quite do this with the table, so I'm going to do a little mini version of it. Basically, to step forward with the dominant foot. And she's like, and when you step forward, you yell, I got this.
Oh.
She's like, that's your mantra. I got this. I got this. Right? So you collect that faith in, and you step forward and say, I got this. Like that. And you bring the other foot forward, and you're like, now in your power pose.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
I actually like that.
What do you get
Do
from
you do it like every morning?
I do
Or
it
do you
some
just
mornings.
do it when you feel
I've been
like you
doing
need it?
I don't know if I do it every morning because I've got like so many morning routines. Power support. It's like, it's 3
so in
p.m.
tune with that.
It's 3 p.m. and I still haven't started my day because I'm getting all empowered. But I'm curious, Lauren, what landed there for you? It seems like there was something that moved you.
You know what? Because I think in my spirituality, and you know this, Matt, my relationship to God means everything to me, but I'm in this battle where faith is everything. And some things I can come in strongly. I got that, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other areas just like, well, will it actually work out for me?
Yeah.
You know, so with that one, it's kind of like specifically with relationship,
Yeah.
and even with careers, like
I
no,
got
for
this.
real. I got
I
this.
got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I really do got, and it's so simple that it seems so like minuscule, but it's like, no, really, I got this.
Yeah, actually, like I
Believing
got this.
it.
Yeah.
Because I think about every test that I had to take for my licensure with counseling, especially. Every time I take a test, I'm like, oh, I'm only passing it. I'm doing this one time.
Yeah.
And I come in with that conviction, and I literally pass every time.
Yeah.
But I think about, like, if I can have faith in the little things, think about if I actually had faith in the big things that I really wanted.
Yeah.
How much of a transformation could that be?
Yeah. And
I
what's
know,
the
right? It's scary.
and what's the faith in, right? Like, so you were talking about relationships, and that's a thing for me too.
Dude, have you showed them your shirt?
Believe
in the good.
You were
That's
just like,
random.
what's the faith in? And your shirt's
Oh.
like, believe in the good.
Well, so but faith that it's going to turn out your way, or is it faith that however it turns out is going to be
In the good.
good
Yeah.
and perfect and how it should be? Like, not necessarily like putting faith in a specific outcome, but faith in just
It's okay.
Yeah.
however it goes, it will be
It'll
okay.
be, I always think about, all things are working for my good, one way or another. Because I think about the things that I actually wanted, and then in the long grand scheme of things, I'm so grateful it did not work in the way that I thought it was supposed to. But it worked in the trajectory that it was supposed to work for in my life.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because it's a journey.
It is.
And you don't have to understand it. You
That
just have
part.
to trust.
I think we get stuck in that, right? Because so I always walk my clients through, there's a difference. There's your head, your heart, and your gut. Your head makes logic, your heart lands in the emotion, and a lot of times they conflict. But your gut is the one thing that never lies to you, but often the thing that we ignore. But that's where your most power really lies in. So if you were able to follow in your gut, you would never really take a wrong turn because you're landing exactly where you're supposed to go. Yeah. That's good.
So I think for me, what's landing the most is I got this. So just consider for a moment, where in your life are you feeling scared? You're not sure you're on the right path. Like, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
Lauren, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Is there anything kind of like final words? You've got so much brilliance. We could go all day, but is there anything that occurs to you right now that might be helpful for people to hear? Oh my God. It just...
We're not asking you, Siri.
Siri
What
had
did
an
I
opinion.
say?
That was amazing.
Did I say something that sounded like, hey, Siri?
Yeah. Siri just interjects
I just said it
herself
again.
wherever she feels fit.
That was really amazing. I don't even know what to say. Okay, we're not going to check in with Siri. right now. We're going to check in with Lauren.
Yes.
Thanks for your input. She's always chiming in. What do you got to share?
Oh, I think we talked about a lot, but I think the biggest thing is there's so much power in being honest with yourself, because that's where your truth lies, and that's where you're on the other side of a breakthrough, when you're actually honest with yourself, because you can come from a powerful place when you actually declare what it is that you want and then fall into alignment with creating that for yourself. So, the same thing when we require of other people, if you actually to give that to yourself, think about how boldly you can show up in this world. Mm-hmm. Hold yourself accountable and then create that, and then you'll actually attract the things that you really want for yourself.
Thank you.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Thank you. That wraps up the episode.
Yeah, it does, man.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Come back next week.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. I'm Matt Maxwell. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or other social media, or learn about coaching with me at thisishearthstone.com. And please check out my book, How to Hold a Cockroach, now available through Amazon. You can connect with Kristin on Instagram at Robinson Kristin, that's Kristin, or find her upcoming workshops at thrivecoachingstudio.com. Please subscribe to us wherever you listen and leave a great review.
And don't forget our practice for the week. Step forward with that dominant foot and shout, "I got this," each day to move forward with faith in the areas of life that matter most to you.
We'd love to hear how it goes in the comments section wherever you listen, or leave us a note at cultivatingcouragepodcast.com.